This is Hannibal back here with another UAP/drone news update. The Pentagon just held a briefing in Washington with Pentagon Press Secretary Pat Ryder of the Air Force, and it was regarding mostly the series of unexplained drone sightings along the East Coast. He admitted that some of them could be surveillance. He's saying he isn't aware any of them are U.S. craft as far as the mystery drones. He could not answer why Congress is also having a classified briefing today if there's nothing unusual going on. He says he's given, quote, as much info as he can based on what he knows, end quote. So again, as much info as he can. So obviously there is some info being withheld. He would not comment on who is behind the drone incursions on the military bases in the UK. He would not provide sensor data regarding the base drone incursions around the New Jersey, New York areas, other than they are employing a variety of new passive and active sensors to try and detect them in the future. So again, these are new sensors being brought in, being deployed there that weren't there before from the Department of Defense, apparently, from what I understand. So even though this is nothing, they're deploying some new sensors and they're holding classified briefings. They also are deploying drone busters, which apparently help bring these things down. Still no news on if any of them have been brought down in New Jersey. It's strange that we get the reports of the citizen ones being brought down in Boston and the Chinese national one being brought down in California over the Space Force base, but no reports on any actually being brought down in any of these Air Force bases where there has been airspace closed and proof of incursions over the past several weeks. He's saying drones are all around a lot more. That's why we're seeing them more. One of the reporters said he's in Washington. Why aren't we seeing drone incursions like we're seeing in New Jersey in Washington? And the Air Force press secretary provided no real answer for that. He says he sees people flying drones all the time. He says it's hard to know specifically right now why there are so many sightings in New Jersey, and he completely understands the concern. And that is a valid point the reporter made. If this is all just regular activity, why are we seeing it? And I admit, they're basically what they've said, the statement the FBI said, and I talked about this with Avi Loeb today, a Harvard professor, an astronomer, as well as Nick Pope, who used to investigate UFO sightings for the U.S. military. There's 2% completely unknown. So out of 5,000 reports they got recently, 100 were unknown. So there's still 2% unknown. So even if all of these are unknown, there's still or all of these are known. There's and just regular commercial craft or military craft or civilian craft. There's still 2% that aren't. And what are those 2%? Could they be foreign entity or something else, or some type of black program? But I mean, you can't act like there's not a huge increase in sightings all over the place, because it seems like the massive increase is specifically around New Jersey. But they're definitely trying to get this thing died down as much as possible. Some people are saying there's a full-blown cover-up here. That's it that I'm going to talk about from the Pentagon briefing, but I'll talk about some other stuff, news items that I've seen. Chris Christie, former New Jersey governor, says he's seen them at 6:12 a.m. in the last week. Two of them hovering over his house. He said, like, that's unusual for him because he's lived in New Jersey all of his life and never had anything like that happen before. He says he agrees with the White House statement that local government needs more authority to bring them down. But he says to say that there's no increased unusual activity is ridiculous, considering there's a huge amount of activity going on specifically in New Jersey more than other places right now. This same former New Jersey governor said he believes the Iranian mothership story that a congressman brought up, claiming these were Iranian drones that they had bought from China to be untrue. He finds it weird that to say that these are all civilian and commercial drones, why are they mostly flying at night? He doesn't think we should buy a statement to say that this is normal when there's so many more flying at nighttime than before. And he says he wants to see actual proof from the Department of Defense, why they're saying this is nothing to be concerned about, because he says everything happening over military bases, not only in New Jersey, but across the country and globally, is not normal. Tim Burchett, the Tennessee congressman, also did an interview with News Nation that believes at least some of this activity is Chinese. So he reaffirmed what he had said before about the Chinese activity. And he says he believes the Chinese have developed the capabilities of turning off our jets. He says the Chinese are sending more detection systems. They are. Sorry, the U.S. Department of Defense is sending more detection systems to bases like Picatinny and Earl in New Jersey because of the increased drone activities, not because there's nothing happening, according to Burchett. He says these unmanned aircraft systems were not unusual to see over military bases in the past, but they're getting to the point now where they're becoming a threat. Nobody wants to minimize the interest or concern in this situation. Another media person said. But again, the other thing that's happening is a lot of people are making fun of why would and I'm not saying it's an alien invasion, but if it was a foreign or alien invasion, everyone's making fun of why would it happen in New Jersey? Ha ha ha. If I'm going to invade somewhere, the first place would be in New Jersey. Why would I ever do that? As if New Jersey is like a place here in Kansas where there's nothing other than possible nuclear missiles being stored in some places in this state. But New Jersey is a highly populated state right beside New York City, and Philadelphia are right in those same general areas. There's something like 10 or 11 at least serious military bases there. It's near the ocean. The president flies in to an airport right in the Monmouth County, New Jersey, when he flies into the New York City area. They've been flying over his golf course in New Jersey. The president, Donald Trump, the president-elect, has directly said that he's not going to New Jersey this week due to all that activity that's going on. And people are saying he is receiving the same briefings as Biden. He's just not the official president yet. So he can't say more, and he's actually declined to say more. But he certainly has come out and said that this activity is strange. And President Biden is saying nothing. He's not coming out there comforting anybody or reassuring people that there's nothing to be concerned about. Nobody knows where he is. Hysteria is a hell of a drug. Well, there's something unusual going on. The president has confirmed it. So, I mean, and the other thing is the current regime, one day they're saying this is nothing. A 15-year-old could buy these things at a convenience store. Then the next day they're shutting down bases and airports and saying people are seeing drones. Then the next day, this is all commercial and civilian stuff and aircraft that's supposed to be out there. It keeps getting changed around. So there you go. Joe Diaz and Joe Rogan talked about it. I mean, a lot of people are talking about apparently the increased possibility that there may be some type of threat as well on the ground. That who knows how much truth there is to that, but there's another possibility that a mayor talked about this morning. He insinuated that some of these drones are looking for a threat on the ground, which would explain the large number of them flying low. So there you go. Avi Loeb, the Harvard professor who I talked to today, kind of agreed that could be possible. Nick Pope said he doesn't necessarily believe it, but he doesn't totally rule it out. Nick Pope also greatly hinted that it could be at least Russia doing this in the foreign bases where it's occurring in the UK. And it's also occurring in Germany. He does believe it's a foreign entity in some of these places, or a very good possibility of one. So that's interesting. Why are there so many crazy headlines so close together? I don't know. And why not New Jersey? I don't, for everyone that makes fun of it, like, I don't understand why not New Jersey. Other than New York City, I can tell you maybe why not New York City directly, because it might be easier to fly over New Jersey than Washington or New York City. Maybe that's a reason, because it's a major enough city where you could have a severe impact, but maybe it's not as well armed as Washington. Because as the reporter said at the Pentagon press briefing, why haven't we seen this kind of activity in Washington? Well, you would think with the current president in Washington that it would probably be highly more secure, although we have seen some stuff in New Jersey. Hello, Sydney, Australia. We've had a lot of people from Australia following this for whatever reason, because Snooki is based in New Jersey. Funny. There's been appearances in Brazil for a long time, including kind of a negative attack that's happened in Brazil, which I've discussed in podcasts, including one with the main guy investigating that Colares Brazil incident that took place decades ago, but actually was very negative. And the U.S. government was involved in investigating that at one point as well. And again, I do like the U.S. a lot. I love it here. That's why I'm here right now for the winter. But this current government regime isn't really providing us answers or comfort, considering everything that's going on. So it's going to be interesting what the Congress people say when they come out of their confidential briefing that's happened today. So again, this is all normal stuff, nothing to be concerned about, but there's a confidential briefing to Congress people today regarding the drones.